What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from Music Mobile. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Rah Tah Tah by Tyler, the Creator. The tempo for this one is 165 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Tyler, the Creator. Let's go ahead and start off with that main sound that we hear through the entire track. For that, we're going to go ahead and bring in Logic's Alchemy. I'm going to go ahead and load up a preset here. It is called Mellotron Flute. We're going to go ahead and leave all the settings as is. Let's go ahead and draw on that pattern. I'm going to duplicate that over. All right, so we're not quite there yet. What we're gonna do now is bounce this in place and then pitch it up 1 octave. So we're gonna click our region and go Control B to bounce in place. And then we're gonna go ahead and pitch this up 1 octave. So we're gonna go Shift, Option, Arrow up, will be 12 semitones up or 1 octave. When bouncing up audio gives it a little bit of a different texture that we need in this track, so that's why we bounced it in place. Now let's go ahead and add in some more effects to get it sounding more like the one in the original track. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into our modulation and we're gonna add in some ensemble just to give it a little bit of like analog feel to it. So let's go ahead and start off with a preset here. We're gonna go over to Screen Door. Kind of gives it more of like an old timely record type of sound. And then we're gonna go ahead and take that a step further and bring in some chorus. We'll go to modulation chorus and we'll bring in a preset, the vocal backup. Just softens that sound up a little bit more. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring in Logic's Space Designer. We're not gonna use it for reverb. We're actually gonna use it for its IR capabilities. There's a bunch of impulse responses in Space Designer that you can use to add some textures to your sound, not just reverbs. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to our drop down over here. We're gonna go over to Warped Effects, and we're gonna go over to, I believe it's under Analog Circuits, and we're gonna go to Analog Pedal 1. And then we're going to add in some pitch fluctuations using Logic's tape delay. So for that, we're going to go ahead and go to delay, tape delay, and we're going to set it up in this way. So it's going to be 100% wet. The dry is going to be 0. We're going to take off tempo sync, bring the delay time all the way down to 0, bring feedback all the way down to 0 as well. We're going to pull up our rate to 1 Hertz, and we're going to adjust our intensity to taste. So I'm going to pull up quite a bit to about halfway-ish. You see how it gives that pitch fluctuations in there. So we're going to go ahead and just bring that down to like 44-ish. And this is how we're recreating that RC20 analog tape type of sound. Next, what we're going to do is finally bring in an EQ to really shape up this sound to make it sound close to the original one. We're going to go to EQ tools and we're going to go over to the phone filter notch preset. Looks like this. Except what we're gonna do here is we're gonna boost the gain a little bit just to like bring out everything more in this area. And let's go ahead and just pull this open a little bit bigger. And then we're gonna make this a little bit fuller sounding by pulling this a little bit more back. So it really shapes that sound. Now we're gonna add in some reverb to put it into a space. As a final touch, we'll go to Logic's Reverb, Chroma Verb. We'll go over to Synth Reverbs and we'll go over to the Large Synth Room preset. I'm gonna bring down the decay a little bit here. Just puts it more like a scary dark space that we need for this track. And that's pretty much it for that sound. Then we're just gonna add in like 1 Perc sound at the top. So we're gonna create a new software instrument track. I'm gonna bring in that Perc. It's within the drum kit I put together for this remake. The Rah Tah Tah drum kit. Let's go down to R. Here it is right here. And we're gonna start off with that Perc. It's gonna create a new pattern region. Just put it on the 1. So it's gonna sound like this together. But I don't need it to go for the whole 4 bars. I just need on the one. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next pattern. We're basically using the same sound that we created up over here in using Logic's Alchemy. We're just gonna go ahead and draw in the single note that we need. Let's bring this back in here. All right, we're gonna take that, and once again, we're gonna bounce that in place, and we're going to pitch it up 1 octave. So let's go ahead and bring this down here. Take that out, shift option arrow up to pitch it up 1 octave as a shortcut. All right, so that's the sound that basically plays in the background, except we're gonna copy all of the effects from the previous track. So the easiest way to do that is just Apple D or Command D, and I'm gonna pull this back up, and we get this. The only thing I will change is the EQ slightly. So I'm gonna just pull up some of the lows here. Make it more focused. Sort of like a tea kettle sort of boiling or whistling. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull this back as well here. All right, and that's pretty much it for that sound. Next, let's get to the drums. So let's start off with our open hat. Something easy. We're just gonna put it on the 2 and 4. All right, let's go ahead and go over to our second open hat pattern. We're gonna change this over to 32 steps, and we're just gonna put out this right over here. All right, next let's get to some wood blocks. So for the first one, we're gonna go create a new pattern region. We're gonna change this over to 32 steps, and we're gonna go ahead and draw this in here. And now the second wood block. All right, now that third wood block. And next, let's get to the snare. So for that snare, it's just gonna go on the 3. And we'll add in some breaths over here. So we have 1, 2. And now the 808. That over. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate that pattern and give ourselves a kick on top of that 808. So we're going to take that 808 and copy it down over to our kick. Let's open that up, and we're just going to pitch it up 1 octave. All right, let's move on to the next section. We're just going to copy over this pattern once again. We're going to copy over this Perc hit, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna go ahead and copy over the same pattern over, minus the kick and the 808, because it will switch up. Put that up there. Put another hit in there. Let's go ahead and copy this over. And this note is the one that drops down here. Then of course we're going to take that 808 and just bring it over to the kick. just like that. Oh, there it is right there. And let's move this note up just to layer up that 808. And then let's jump forward to the next section. So what we're gonna do here is just take over this sound over here, move that over. Let's copy over all the drums minus the kick and 808. And then we're going to create that building synth. We'll bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. We will design this one from scratch, starting with the default preset. So the only thing we're going to do here is take our mixer blend and go to a 50-50 split between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Oscillator 1 will be a square wave and oscillator 2 will leave it as a sawtooth. We can go ahead and just turn that off anyways. We're not using it, but we'll just turn it off. And let's go ahead and draw on that pattern. It's essentially this note right over here. I'm going to copy that down. So I'm just going to play it at a quieter velocity. And it doesn't sustain for the entire 4 bars. We're just going to bring it back to the right there. Now in the original track, this gets pitched up as it plays through. So to mimic that gliding synth sound, what we're going to do is bring in Logic's pitch plugin under Audio Units, Apple, and is AU pitch. This is the only pitch plugin in Logic that I find you can actually have a nice gliding synth rather than it stepping per semitone. So let's go ahead and hit A on our keyboard, in our arrangement window. And what we're going to do is change over our automation to touch. And we're going to pitch this up from 0 to 7 semitones by the time the sound ends. So I'm just going to hit play and just quickly draw it in here. So I'll hit play and I'm going to move the pitch knob. All right, so now that I have my step input here for where I want to start, we're gonna start at 0 cents. And like I said, at the end of the note, we want it to hit plus 7 semitones, which is 700 cents. Once we get as close as we can, we're gonna hit our circle, hold down control, and we're just gonna bring this down to 700 exactly, like that. Make sure we're still on the 1 here. And there is your gliding synth. Now we get some cracks and pops in there because we are transposing the sound in real time. Even my M1 Max chipset can't render that in real time. We'll see how it is with the M4s, but I'm gonna go ahead and bounce this in place so that it doesn't have to do it in real time. And now we just get a clean version of that. Simple enough. And together it sounds like this. And that's pretty much it. All I have to add right now is a bunch of effects and Vox chants and things like that in arrangement and mixing, of course. But I'm going to do that all off screen because there's a lot of them and I don't want to bore you with all that. And it's fairly sort of sporadically placed throughout the mix, all these chants and effects. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here we are in the arranged session. So as you can see, all of these ad-libs and effects are all sporadically placed throughout the entire session. That's why I didn't want to do it from scratch for you guys here because there's quite a few of them. So for the intro, we get this little bit here. We get an explosion sound. We get this yep. And then we get some vocal chants over here. And then we get this sort of build up sound right here as well. And then there is one section in the arrangement where the 808s do have like a shortened sustain. So it's this secondary 808 over here, if you're wondering, in the kit, and it sounds like this. All right, so now let's go ahead and listen to everything from the top. Rah Tah Tah by Tyler, the Creator. up here is Rah Tah Tah by Tyler, the creator. For your Logic Pro users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you. Place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to go export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, let's go and chat down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.